What if I told you that the life you call modern success is silently draining your peace every single day, while the life you ignore as too simple or too old holds the exact strength your mind has been searching for? Why is it that people today have more comfort, more technology, more money than ever before, yet their stress, anxiety, and emptiness keep increasing instead of decreasing? And why is it that a monk who owns almost nothing often carries a calmness that no amount of wealth seems able to buy? Right now, most people wake up already tired, not because their body is weak, but because their mind never truly rests. It is constantly pulled by notifications, expectations, comparisons, responsibilities, and an invisible pressure to keep proving something. There is always something missing, something next, something better. But in that chasing, something quietly disappears, and that is inner peace. Modern life looks powerful from the outside, but inside, it creates a silent kind of chaos. We believe money will remove stress, but stress only changes its shape. We believe success will bring satisfaction, but satisfaction lasts only a moment before the next desire appears. We believe comfort will make life easier, but comfort often makes the mind more restless, and slowly, without realizing it, we enter a cycle where we are constantly moving but rarely arriving anywhere inside ourselves. Have you ever noticed that even after achieving something you once deeply wanted, the happiness feels temporary? For a short time there is excitement, a sense of accomplishment, maybe even pride. But then the mind quickly adjusts, and the same emptiness returns in a different form. This is not your failure. This is how a mind works when it is trained only to seek outside but never taught to settle within. Now imagine a monk sitting quietly, far away from the noise of the world. No competition, no pressure to prove anything, no endless comparison with others. From the outside, it may look like he has less, but from the inside, it seems like he has everything he needs. There is a strange depth in his calmness, a kind of stability that does not shake easily with external events. That is because his strength is not dependent on the world being perfect. It is rooted in something deeper. The real difference between monk life and modern life is not about poverty versus wealth. It is about dependency versus freedom. The more we depend on external things for happiness, the more fragile we become. If our mood depends on people's opinions, we become unstable. If our peace depends on success, we become anxious before every challenge. If our worth depends on comparison, we never feel enough. But when the mind learns to stay steady from within, external events lose their power to control us completely. One of the first lessons from monk life is silence. Not just staying quiet on the outside, but learning to observe the silence within. Most people avoid silence because in silence the mind becomes visible. And when the mind becomes visible, so do fears, regrets, desires, and patterns we usually ignore. But monks do not run from this. They sit with it. They watch it. And slowly something begins to change. The mind starts losing its control over awareness, and awareness becomes stronger than the noise. In this practice, there is one simple but powerful return, returning to the breath. When thoughts come, return. When emotions rise, return. When distraction pulls, return again. It is not about stopping thoughts or fighting them. It is about not getting lost in them. Imagine your mind like a river. Modern life keeps adding more water, more speed, more turbulence. But monk practice creates space inside that river so it does not overflow you. The river still flows, but you are no longer drowning in it. Now close your eyes for a moment, even while reading this, and imagine yourself sitting alone in a peaceful place. No phone, no urgency, no pressure to respond to anything. Just your breath and your awareness. With every inhale, you feel clarity entering your mind. With every exhale, you release comparison, pressure, and mental noise. Thoughts may appear like clouds in the sky, but you do not hold them. You simply watch them pass. And in that watching, something begins to feel lighter. In that stillness, ask yourself a simple question. Who am I without my stress? Who am I without my achievements? Who am I without my fears? Not to find an intellectual answer, but to feel the space that appears when identity becomes quiet for a moment. That space is closer to your real nature than anything you usually define yourself by. Monk life teaches a powerful idea that real wealth is not what you collect, but what you no longer need to feel complete. Because every need creates dependency, and every dependency creates fear of loss. When needs are endless, peace becomes impossible. But when needs become simple, life becomes spacious again. It is not that monks reject life. It is that they simplify the mind so life is no longer overwhelming. The modern world often teaches that more is better. More money, more success, more attention, more possessions. But experience quietly shows something different. More often becomes noise. And where there is too much noise, clarity disappears. When everything demands importance, nothing feels peaceful. Monk wisdom is not about rejecting life. It is about filtering it so that awareness can breathe again. True freedom is not doing whatever you want whenever you want. True freedom is not being controlled by every desire that appears in the mind. Most people believe they are making choices, but often they are reacting to impulses, fears, and comparisons. Monk life is stronger because it breaks that invisible chain. When you are no longer controlled by every emotional wave, you begin to stand on solid ground inside yourself. You do not need to become a monk to learn this strength. You only need to begin small. A few minutes of silence every day where you are not trying to fix anything, just observing your breath. A few moments where you allow the mind to settle instead of feeding it endless input. Slowly, the mind starts to recognize space again, and in that space, clarity returns. When the mind practices stillness regularly, something very real changes. Stress begins to reduce, focus becomes sharper. Emotional reactions become slower and more conscious. You start noticing thoughts instead of becoming them. And that small shift changes everything. Because the moment you are aware of a thought instead of being inside it, you are no longer fully controlled by it. Over time, life does not necessarily become perfect, but you become stable. And that stability is what makes monk life feel stronger than modern chaos. Because chaos may still exist outside, but it no longer dominates what is happening inside you. The monk is not powerful because he escaped the world. The monk is powerful because he understood the world without being consumed by it. That same understanding is available to anyone willing to slow down and reconnect with themselves, even in the middle of a busy life. So ask yourself honestly, what are you really searching for in all your running? Is it peace or is it more distraction? Is it clarity or is it more noise disguised as progress? Take a moment right now and silently repeat this with awareness. Not as words, but as feeling. I am not my stress. I am not my fear. I am not my comparison. I am awareness. I am calm presence. I am returning to myself. And as you hold these words, allow yourself to feel that peace does not need to be achieved somewhere far away. It is something that begins the moment you stop running from yourself and start observing what is already here. If this message connected with you in any way, leave one simple word in your mind or comment it if you are sharing this. Peace. And notice how you felt while listening. Not just what you understood, because the real teaching is not about becoming someone else. It is about remembering what you already are beneath all the noise.